It's Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Monday, October 14th. I'm here with Al, Brandon, Lindsay. I'm Tori. Let's get right to it. What is going on with some police officers in Texas? Tatiana Jefferson, who you see here, was shot inside her own home over the weekend. A cop was there to do a welfare check, and then this happened. Take a look.
Put your hands up. Show me your hands.
Yeah, before he even finished that sentence. And I want you to listen to what her neighbor said about the call and why he called the police.
I called my police department for a welfare check. No domestic violence, no arguing, nothing that they should have been concerned with as far as them coming with guns drawn to my neighbor's house.
So Tatiana was a 28-year-old pre-med student. She was playing video games with her 8-year-old nephew who saw her shot and killed. He said, "Show me your," and then the gun went in the middle of the sentence. Does this make you think about ever calling the police ever again? And know that the neighbor called a non-emergency number.
And I think he shot in 2 seconds, which is the really scary part. And I hate that the police are showing that there was a gun in the home and releasing those pictures, because there's nothing nefarious or illegal about owning a gun, especially in Texas. And so this, to me, just looks like, at the very least, an indictment, if not a murder charge. Like watching this young girl, she's a grad student, an 8-year-old.
I know.
Do we have any tissues up here? And I know how you feel right now, because honestly, I'm angered right now, and I know, Al, you're our voice of reason, and so I'm not going to come off. I'm not going to come off as that guy right now. I promise you that. But what we're seeing right now is we're watching the path go towards a Bible and a hug.
And her dad said he doesn't want to hug. Her dad said, "Don't hug me."
Yeah, the father has come out and spoken and said, this is absolutely senseless.
You know what I mean by Bible and the hug? Because that's what Amber Geiger got the other day when she was sentenced. She got the Bible and the hug, because you're seeing unedited, heavily unedited body cam video. You're seeing them release saying that he thought that she was a perceived threat, even though he didn't knock on the door
or
and announce himself.
Officer. Lindsay, I just have to ask what's going through your mind right now. I just want to be honest, because obviously you're feeling things. Just how are you feeling right now?
I'm just scared that you cannot be in your own home anymore. So it's different if your body is perceived as a threat as an African American existing here, but the fact that 2 people in the last month or 2 months were killed in their home in Texas, it's scary. I just don't, like, we already have a problem with the police, and so to know that you can't even call them without getting killed. This is a welfare check this man called. Just because her door was open. They didn't even bother knocking on the door. They went around back. Imagine if you hear somebody in your backyard walking around.
And they didn't announce as a police officer. Again, this came from the police chief. Al, how are you kind of handling all this?
I'm not surprised. I mean, Lindsay, we've been doing this a long time, and we're just so happy you're on the team, but unfortunately you'll be tempered and sealed. And you see how Brandon and I, we cover this story every week, and this is why when we see the barbecue Beckys and the coupon Carls, and it's kind of funny because we give them these names. What are they always threatening to do? They're always saying, "I'm calling the cops, I'm calling the cops." You don't see that when 2 sorority girls are having an argument at a university. Well, why do the people always threaten to call the cops when it's a black person? Because they know when the cops show up, if somebody's going to be dead, it's a black person. The person making the call knows that, and the person that's having the cops called on them knows that. But again, it's the dog whistles that we use. So you can just say, "Hey, I'm for law and order." All these dog whistles that we hear all the time. We know what this is. We know what the cops' job is. They are an extermination force for black people. That's what they do. We have not seen any young white women be accidentally shot. I haven't seen it. When have we covered that story? I've been here every day for 2.5 years.
Let's bring up both of them, John's picture as well. Just if this happened weeks ago, I just want to remember. Oh, they don't have it. Okay, sorry. Yeah, this is both happening in Texas, and something's going on.
Didn't the gun thing remind you of the marijuana thing in Botham Jean systems?
The scariest
the
thing
immediacy of that.
Even this reminds me too, scarier, of the Mike Brown incident. Whether that young man robbed a store or not has nothing to do with the fact that he was pulled over randomly, or he's walking down the street and the cops pulled him and shot him up at the car.
Eric Garner.
Yeah, it's like there's so many instances, and so I just know how this is going to play out. And so I'm just getting disheartened to watch her dad say, my daughter who's 28 years, her dad was crying.
You, Lindsay. I mean, like we talk about this stuff with the cops, but I mean, the die was cast with Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin was killed by just a random dude.
Yep.
Like a random dude. He wasn't deputized. The cops told him not to follow. He followed. He got into an altercation, lost, killed the young man.
He got away.
And he walked away and then sold the gun on eBay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's still alive and free and watching DBL right now. So I think they're letting you know. So I don't know why people are upset.
Well, we have a lot of different emotions here. It's Lindsay obviously really feeling it. I know Brandon is probably really angry is what
Give
you're
her a
feeling.
year.
And
Bible
you're
and a
feeling
hug.
very numb. And I want to know what the DBL Nation feels. Kevin Ang wrote in and says, that is so sad. The officer should be charged with murder. Right now, he's on administrative leave. Well, Kelly's got some news coming into the studio right now. Kelly, what's going on?
Tori, over the weekend, a violent parody video was reportedly shown at President Trump's Miami resort. Now, it's making headlines today because the video depicts a likeness of the president shooting and stabbing members of the news media, as well as his political rivals. In fact, the video is so disturbing, we can't even show it. Just hours ago, the White House said the president hasn't watched the graphically violent video, but that based on what he's heard, he strongly condemns it.
Yeah, so just know that this stops being funny for a while after that. Well, talk about strange. A woman who is known by authorities for being a serial stowaway on planes was arrested again at O'Hare in Chicago. She was allegedly trying to move TSA lane dividers to sneak by. And get this, she's been on probation for sneaking onto a London-bound flight before and had been warned to stay away from all airports. How do you get away with this?
Catch me if you can. Like, it's catch
Like,
because
what?
we don't see this. Like, you only see Jason Bourne do this in movies. Like, I would have never thought that she could sneak onto a plane. She's
This
been
woman
successful.
has snuck on a plane in Phoenix in 2014, a London-bound flight in 2018, and the same year in 2014, she went from San Jose to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
How is she so good at sneaking? Are you a good sneaker?
I don't know. I don't think she looks like a threat, so I think she kind of can get by.
I can't even get an extra carry-on on the plane.
I
so
wonder,
it's
is this
just
the kind of
like,
thing that we're going to see disappear once facial recognition really
Yes,
comes in?
I think you're right.
I don't want facial recognition.
Don't you want it for
for
safety
this?
at the airport?
Have you flown internationally lately?
They do it automatically.
know.
They
but-
do it. It just takes a picture of your face.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
Someone get this lady a Netflix deal. She deserves a Netflix deal to write her story. I can see us having some sort
Would
of
you watch
movie
that,
plot.
Brandon?
I would not
Yeah,
watch
I would
that.
watch that. You would've watched
She's
that.
been so successful already. I would watch a Netflix special, either a special or some sort of movie or
I
something.
would not
Why don't
watch
you
it.
just take the bus?
All right, do you guys believe, moving on, in a midlife crisis? Do you think it's a thing? Well, most people do believe in them, and nearly half of adults over 50, Al, that's you, right?
Wow.
Say that they've had
Hurtful.
one, but research actually shows that things in midlife get better, psychologically speaking. So, do y'all believe in midlife crises?
I believe what you said earlier to me is a quarter-life crisis.
Quarter-life crisis. So that's how I feel.
And what I can break that down to be is when I realized that the year that I graduated college, I had less money in my bank account than the year that I was 30.
Yeah,
And I was like, this is a quarter-life crisis, you know?
I think quarter-life crisis, especially with debt these days, is like a real thing. You're there and you got no home, no equity, no money, no job. That's when the crisis hits.
Yeah, I think it's going to start to hit, Brandon. I'm going to get your opinion on this. I think it's going to start to hit at younger and younger ages because now with social media, you see all your contemporaries and what they're doing. So you go, oh my gosh, somebody I graduated high school with, they're already a judge. Oh my gosh, they're vacationing in Italy and they have a timeshare there. I'm still at my mom's house. So I think people are more aware of what they don't have, and that's going to drive them almost crazy.
Well, I turned 35 in 2 days, and I'm legit going through a midlife crisis right now.
Please.
Just in my head, like it's like, wow, like you can't be as fun as you used to be. You have to be super responsible. Your grandmother's texting you, calling you, when you gonna bring home some grandbabies? Your mother wants grandkids and all that. It's like,
wait till you have a Jewish mother. That's like a whole different level.
What do they do?
Oh, they want grandbabies since I was born. It's very strange.
I don't think I've ever heard a Jewish woman say grandbabies.
No, grandchildren.
There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they want them. They want them. All right, now, do you have any superstitions? I want to get this. Apparently, the hockey team in LA does. So they've decided to cover up this Taylor Swift banner during their home games. So some fans think the banner has cursed the team, and they can't Shake It Off. Oh my God. Terrible fun by Michael Dean.
I liked it, Michael Dean.
I liked it.
I completely agree with it. Brandon, you're a pro athlete. You know, like your home field's got to be intimidating, man.
And
when
remember,
other teams come in there,
undefeated when they put this when they close the banner, the team has been undefeated.
She's got
when they had it, they had a 10-game losing streak.
Yeah.
It's you got to play. You got to play. Hello, you play to win the game. It's all about routine. I'm not into superstitions. I'm all about routines.
You didn't have any. You played pro football.
I had a routine.
What was your routine?
Not so much a superstition. Talk to yourself a little bit, hype yourself up. You listen to a certain playlist before every game. Call your mother, that sort of thing.
What was one song that we can say on the air that was on that playlist?
Oh.
Push It to the Limit?
No, it was Cash Money.
I can't even go there.
Okay, just leave it there. We got it. We got it.
We got it.
Yes.
DBL is live.
Yeah.
Midlife Crisis here.
There you go. I go one-on-one with actor Crispin Glover. He tells me all about his newest quirky character in today's Chatting with the Stars. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. Elizabeth Warren and Facebook are fighting over political ads she calls false. Was it really up to social media to determine what's true?
Phil Collins in the heat of the night.
That's a good one. Your comments coming up next. That's a good
back
one.
to me now.
That's a very good one.
I'm a big fan.
Hi everyone, happy Monday. Kelly Schuberth here with the DBL digital team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending news for you right now, but I think we're gonna go to the desk and see what's going on with our host. Let's go.
I would never be the person
to cry on TV. You good?
Hi guys.
Hi. So Lindsay had her first. Oh, go ahead.
What would your pop-up song be, real quick?
Oh, mine's always Eminem, "Lose Yourself," and I'm sorry, it is. I'm so basic.
In the music.
No, it starts with the mom spaghetti.
Knees,
arms are heavy. Something
Vomit on a
sweater. It's
already.
mom spaghetti.
Yeah. Al, what's yours?
What's that?
What's your pop-up song? What's your song? Pop-up song.
Oh, like get hype?
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Brazilian pop music.
What?
Can you give us an example of a song we could download? Brazilian pop music.
Yeah.
Do you have an artist?
Wait, come on. You have Poison.
Yeah.
When we first met, we did Poison together at a
I don't know the last. I listen to
karaoke.
Poison I only save for
Karaoke?
For karaoke because I wanted to be fresh every time. I don't listen to it in the car.
What about you, Brandon? What's yours? What's your hype-up song?
It's multiple, but I would say Phil Collins.
In the Air Tonight?
I can feel it coming.
Like from the Hangover?
Cause you're like, I just remember like you're getting ready. Like I have my headphones on, I'm like catching balls with the quarterbacks, and you hear this.
Ready for the and then do you throw it extra good?
That's like a routine.
Gonna score 4 touchdowns.
What about you, Lindsay?
It depends. If I'm trying to get pumped up for a night in the club, Mark Morrison, Return of the Mac.
Oh, that's good.
If I'm trying to get pumped up for the gym, which I never do, then maybe Rick Ross, Push It to the Limit.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
What's funny?
Or, if I'm trying to get pumped up for life and I could do anything, it's What More Can I Say by Jay-Z.
Oh, can I? Jay-Z's PSA.
Oh, PSA, never mind. Yeah, that's the.
I saw another side of Lindsay.
I know that word, that song line for line. It's like my song to get me ready for life.
The video of that. By DBL Nation.
He never will.
What is it called? Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. Trump coined the term fake news, and now he and fellow presidential candidate Elizabeth Warren are sharing false political ads on Facebook. So let me just give you this story straight up. Under current Facebook policy, political ads are exempt from third-party fact-checking. Senator Warren says this loophole has allowed Facebook to profit from Trump spreading lies about her and other candidates. Now she's released a false ad targeting Trump on Facebook to prove her point. So DBL Nation, should Facebook continue to share false political ads? Go ahead, Lindsay.
All right, Candace from Facebook says, I hope everybody takes notice. Fact-checking is critical. Facebook has many wonderful qualities, but this isn't one of them. And I think that Facebook is trying to stay neutral and not have too much government oversight. I think that people need to be diligent and see what they believe. Whether you get it from Facebook or somewhere else, you're going to see fake ads or different news that pops up. You have to do your own research, and I believe the voters are smarter than falling for fake ads.
You don't think Facebook holds any responsibility at all for this?
I think Facebook is trying to be a neutral sharing and picture
almost
communication
like a
platform.
Community message.
Yeah, they don't
board
want to
at a
be
grocery
involved in
store.
politics unless they're working alongside them.
I think that's taking down a lot of the power that Facebook
I think
has.
if Warren is president, then she's going to try to attack Facebook and put them on the defense rather than working with them. That doesn't make any sense.
As she should. AJ from Facebook says, all of you who think Facebook is a problem, there's one action that you could take that would eliminate that. Don't use Facebook. But AJ, you have to understand that print and broadcast is dying. People are going to a site like Facebook, which has 2 billion users per month. So we're not talking about a Yelp review, or we're not talking about voting for who's Rookie of the Year. We're talking about lawmakers and who is going to control this country in the free world. They have to regulate it, I feel like.
Well said.
It's different than broadcast, though. It's two different entities, so we don't have any rules yet in place. So I don't think we should just make them up and attack Facebook.
But a lot of people get their news from Facebook. A lot of people, when people read,
I think you're denying the power of Facebook.
What about a billboard, Tori? You're a legal eagle. Could I put up a billboard that said, Tori Shulman is out to kidnap your kids? Could I put that up? Is that legal?
Not if you know it's actually false. So actual malice means you know that's not true and you still put it up. Now,
what if I feel that way?
You can certainly put a sign up on your house.
No, a billboard that people will pass on the highway.
They're using harming people as references. I mean real billboard like Tori Shulman doesn't like this policy, or did it, like, okay, it's wrong, but it's debatable at a debate. That's why we have these open debates and continue the conversation that way.
Is it debatable, or are they spreading lies? Because I don't want it on either side. I just don't want lies on either side. I want there to be some fact checking. I do.
I just think it's Facebook. It's not the place you go to for your most factual information. Read
I think
the paper.
most Americans do, unfortunately, though. I hear you. I do hear you. One celebrity's custody battle is getting ugly. Raquel, what's going on?
Tori, Jeremy Renner's ex-wife says he threatened to kill her and also put a gun in his mouth and threatened to kill himself. Now, this is all detailed in new court papers. His ex-wife, Sunny Pacheco, is looking to get sole custody of their 6-year-old daughter, Ava. She accuses the actor of being on drugs and also threatening to kill himself and Sunny, and at one point firing a gun into the ceiling when their daughter was asleep. Now, a rep from Jeremy said the accusations are one-sided with one specific goal in mind.
Whoa, okay, so I don't know how the Marvel universe is even going to handle this or what's going to happen, but he should be put behind bars if that's true.
It's all one-sided right now. We haven't heard his side, so
that's true. Let's just hope that everybody's okay. Well, coming up on DBL, I chat with Crispin Glover to get the 411 on his latest role.
Suit.
And isn't he look great? And the European castle he calls home. Wow, chatting with the stars is coming up.
One.
What does that go like? Okay, so someone wrote in "Ride Like the Wind." We're talking about pump up songs. How does it go?
What's that?
Ride Like the Wind? I thought it was like "She's Like the Wind."
No.
Alexa, change songs.
Okay.
I haven't heard that song in a long time. It's not a bad one though.
Okay.
Someone else likes Brazilian pop.
Yeah.
Anastasia Weeks.
There's a lot of, if you like drum and bass, it's good, especially if you run a lot, because it almost mimics the heartbeat. And so, like let's see what's on my.
That's how like "Lose Yourself" is. It's like da na 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 da na na, and I'm like, I can do that. Right. Is it not that the most
I don't like
basic?
to hear people rap or really sing when I run. I kind of
like Jesus Walks by Kanye. I could listen to it constantly. Love Lockdown.
I love his new church album. He's coming out with a full gospel.
I love it.
Look at that. Can we see Dre's side eye? Can we do a close up of that? You got love
Jesus walks. God knows the way it's trying to break me down. Jesus
that
walks
song's great,
with me,
but his
with
whole
me,
new gospel moment needs to have. I don't know.
Not okay with that?
I'm not okay with it, but Wale's album was bomb.
Wale's album.
Fire.
Come on. Give me a hug. Give me a hug.
Welcome back to DBL. Crispin Glover is known for portraying unique and sometimes creepy characters on screen. But who could forget his role in Back to the Future? Hello, McFly. Earlier, I sat down with the intriguing actor to talk about his latest movie. Check it out in today's Chatting with the Stars. Crispin Glover, what an amazing honor to meet you, to interview you as an actor. I've always looked up to you and your commitments. Now, you really are, to me, the best part of every movie you're in, and Lucky Day is no exception.
Flight 6 now arriving.
Purpose for coming to the United States?
Business. Pleasure.
Describe your character, Luke.
I only had 7 days from getting the screenplay to being on set.
No way.
Playing the character. Yeah. So it was a very fast turnaround. Really, an excellent character comes along. You've got to commit and make your choices and go. And so I was happy to commit to this international man of mystery, I like to call it.
I like that. It sounds like Austin Powers, but darker. I really like that. Now, there's a lot of dark humor, actually, speaking of this, in the film. Is a good, broad comedy on the horizon again? Our entire team is obsessed with Hot Tub Time Machine and your role that you play in it. Do you like doing the dark or the really broad humor better?
Well, I think good humor has some sense of darkness to it. Even Hot Tub Time Machine, there's some darkness. I mean, they're waiting to see an amputation, essentially.
Everyone I know loves you in Back to the Future is George McFly, but you actually had a lawsuit about the sequel. There are some interesting things going on there. What's that about?
There'd been a lawsuit about the sequels to Back to the Future because the producers had taken the molds of my face that were made for the old age makeup on the first film, and they used those molds to create prosthetics.
Wow.
That were put onto another actor in order to fool audiences into believing that I was in the sequels, which I wasn't. And of course, this is illegal.
Yes.
Luckily, never going to happen to another actor again.
Absolutely. Now, I've seen some photos of you and your pops. You and your dad look ridiculously alike. I look like my mother, too. It turns out you've actually been working on a film with him for more than a decade. When am I allowed to see this, and what's up with that? Tell me all about it.
Yes, it will be ready next year, finally. This is the first time my father and I have ever acted together, ever. I own property in the Czech Republic. There was 2.5 years of building 18,000 square feet of sets in the former horse stables for the property. And I'm still working on it, but it is going to be ready for next year.
Oh my God, I cannot wait. Now, speaking of the Czech Republic, you have a castle?
Well, it was something that was built in the 1600s.
Wow.
I specifically bought it for the purpose of making my own films.
Wow.
I don't shoot in the chateau. I shoot in the former horse stables on the sets.
Got it.
But the crew and cast stays in the chateau.
Crispin Glover, what an honor. It really is such an honor to talk to you. Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
I love hearing about his chateau. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty Blast. I'm Jeray Banks, makeup extraordinaire for Daily Blast Live, and today we're talking about some of my favorite red light beauty tips. Now, these are my favorite tips to get you through a quick fix without having to ruin your whole makeup sleigh. Yes, honey, I'm here to help you save the day. So, did I just do a whole haiku? Go ahead, sis. Now, to get back to our point, we are talking red light beauty tips such as how to put on your makeup. Now, I'm not gonna tell you the actual technique, but I'm gonna tell you which step you should be putting in your makeup. Now, I want you to think, what do you usually do, or most people do? We put on our base first and add the blush and the bronzer and warm everything up. It's a good time, right? But then when we get to eye makeup, we almost always have this big mess underneath our eye. Think about that last time you did a smoky eye. I know, sis, it was a mess for sure. That whole black cloud underneath, it's never fun. So let's go ahead and think smarter and not harder, all right? Now, instead of doing our makeup first or our foundation first, I want you to start doing your eye makeup first. This is a great way that a lot of professional artists use to go ahead and make sure that we're actually helping to release or reduce time that we're using to correct any under eye fallout. It almost always happens, so this is the best way to help you fix those issues. Now, another issue, if you may have gotten a lot of fallout underneath that eye. Going back to that whole smoky eye issue, we can actually take a little bit of an eye cream or moisturizer on a Q-tip and utilize that to go ahead and remove any excess makeup products that might be underneath your eye. A lot of pros want to tell you, but I'm nicer than the rest of them, y'all. So with that being said, I want you to go home and try out using that double-sided Q-tip to take out any excess makeup from underneath your eye. And also remember that quick tip, do your eye makeup before your foundation. It'll save you a lot of pains later on in the day. Now, you can thank me later, guys, and you can follow me at Dre for the Slay for more beauty tips. We'll see you guys next time.
Welcome back to DBL. An Irishman had the last laugh at his funeral. As people gathered to say goodbye to Shea Bradley, the deceased had one last trick in store. Check it out.
Hello. Hello. Let me out. Where the am I? Hello. Hello. Let me out. It's dark in here. Hello again. Hello. I just called to say goodbye.
So if you didn't understand, he is a prankster, and everyone was waiting to see what prank he would pull, and he had recorded his voice trying to break out of the coffin. And I thought that's
amazing.
funny.
That was legitimately funny.
You don't like it?
You're celebrating someone's life.
And that's who he was.
I appreciate that. Yeah, my grandma always told me celebrate life. I would be like, if I was related to that man,
I thought it'd be hilarious.
But if he had been like that his whole life,
Right,
I think if he had never cracked a joke and then did one right at the end,
that would be funnier.
Yeah. Try to break him out. I don't know.
I wonder if I felt like going down this. I think a lot of people were worried. There is a joke that says if you have a parrot and you don't teach it to say help, they turn me into a parrot. You're wasting everybody's time. Okay, cool. We'll see you same time. Same
that was a joke. That was a joke.